My name's Ryan, and you're watching That Random Geeky Guy. Welcome back. So, it's the new year, so Happy New Year and welcome to 2021. Who's happy to see the end of 2020? Anyway, today, as you can see from the title, we are doing a massive unboxing. So here, there is a load of smiling faces boxes, which I'm just going to work through with you guys, just a bit of fun. I've got some cool components in here to assist with another build, an upgrade for my computer, and some tools for future videos. But anyway, let's just jump straight into it. So I'm going to move this off the table down onto the floor, and we can bring one of these up at a time. I've no idea which or what's in each one, should we say. We've got a nice big knife here to get us started. So we're just going to go through them one by one, and I'll share those things with you. I hope everybody had a really, really good Christmas, and you got everything that you wanted. And despite some of the major stock shortages out there, any PC builds that have gone on over the Christmas period haven't been disrupted too much. Right, let's get into the first box. Okay. So it would have been done a little bit earlier today, but this actual delivery was split in two, so it was delivered throughout this morning. And some of these bits and pieces I've been waiting for a while to finish some projects. Some of these things are going to be more exciting than others. So what's in the first one? Ooh, this is a really exciting one, actually. That's going to be a good first box to open, so let's get rid of this. So the first thing in here is a high-speed micro SD card, 128 gig, nothing special. But what it's going into is really cool, which is this. It's the DJI Pocket 2, which is a stabilizing gimbal camera from DJI. It's the latest generation. It was released, I think it was November. It records video in 4K at 60 FPS. And it's going to play an important part in future videos, which is probably quite obvious. Let's pop that there. I've been looking forward to that one for a while. Okay, what's up next? Let's go with this one. So with all of these products, I'm going to be digging into them a little bit deeper. But let's just get them all on the table to begin with and see what we've got going on. Okay. So in this one, plenty more of this. This is a 120 gig BX500 Crucial SSD. This is for a build that I'm doing at the moment, which is basically it's a small PC for my wife. So nice and simple. And there's also a motherboard in here as well, which is an ASRock H310, which is to go with her 6500 i5. So that's all in there as well. Pretty good. Again, been kind of putting all these components together for a while. You know how I do things, so it is kind of best bang for buck in terms of building a budget PC, but with some decent components. So this kind of is the last few bits and pieces to finish off that little build. Let's get this out of the way. Should we do the other little one or the big one? Let's do the little one. I think I know what's in this one. This is probably the least exciting part of this big unboxing. Okay. There we go. So in this one, we have got a nondescript brown box. We'll dig into that in a bit when we get into each of the products. Let's get this final one up on the table. Now I know what's in here, and in my opinion, it's quite cool. Some of you will have seen from a recent video that I upgraded on my personal rig, I upgraded the Ryzen 5 3600s to a Ryzen 9 5950X. And this is the next stage as part of that upgrade, which is this thing. So this is the ROG Strix LC360. So it's their 360 AIO. At the moment I'm running a 240 AIO from Corsair, and I think it's time to upgrade to this one. And this is a pretty cool looking box, I hope you'll agree. Right, let's dig into some of these. So let's get this boring one out of the way first, because I know what's in it. It's not that exciting. It is a case for the DJI Pocket 2. So there we go. That's nice and simple. I'm sure you guys aren't that bothered about that. Actually, I guess on that subject, let's move these guys all the way across here, and let's get this one open. Okay, so this is the second iteration from the DJI Pocket series. There was a Pocket 1. I will do a more in-depth video about this in the future, but right now I just want to kind of dig into it with you guys on camera as a bit of a New Year's unboxing. So, for those of you that haven't seen on my previous videos, at the moment I'm shooting my videos using an iPhone. iPhones arguably produce some of the best quality video from a smartphone at the moment, and I'm currently editing on a 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro using Final Cut. My plan is, because I now have a 5950X and an RTX 3070 in my gaming rig, is that I would like to start editing using my my main rig upstairs. You know, I've got 16 cores, 32 threads, a very, very, very powerful processor, along with a decent graphics card. And I'm thinking about switching away from Final Cut to use DaVinci Resolve to do editing in. Now, one of the hurdles with that is Apple's complete resilience to making, or should I say not resilience actually, their commitment to making one of the worst Windows apps that's available, which is iTunes. And unfortunately, it's the only reliable way, to my knowledge, of getting footage or video or photos off an iPhone onto a Windows computer. So if I'm shooting on my iPhone in terms of videos, it's an absolute pain to get it onto the PC. Apple obviously intentionally engineer it this way, which is really frustrating, because with my Mac I can just airdrop the video. Job done, simple, easy, that's what it's designed to do. Or in Final Cut, if I plug my iPhone in, Final Cut sees my iPhone as an external media device. But because of Apple's insistence on utilising iTunes through a Windows computer being the only way that you can ingest footage in a reliable way, it's just so frustrating, because you have to sync your whole library, which is just an absolute pain. And also, not only that, is that I was considering upgrading my, well, it's an iPhone 11 Pro Max, or whatever it's called, Max Pro. I was going to upgrade to the new iPhone 12 Max Pro, because it's got some good steps forwards in terms of video, HDR, all those sort of bits and pieces. But then I'm kind of, again, limiting myself within that ecosystem, which I really didn't want to do. So then I kind of did a bit of research, and I came across this, which records video in 4K with 60 FPS. It supports HDR, and it has some fantastic preliminary reviews. And it also frees me up from using a smartphone and gives me the flexibility that if I wish to edit on my Mac, I can. If I wish to edit on my desktop PC, I can do the same. I'm lucky enough to have shared storage with a NAS here at home, so it means that I can quickly and easily share footage between the devices just by using that NAS as my central storage. And I say, this is my great way in. I already have a DJI Osmo, like the handheld gimbals. It's one of the older versions. I think it's an Osmo 3, which you just used your phone to use with it. But again, I use an iPhone, so you have the same restrictions in terms of bringing things into DaVinci Resolve on a Windows computer. So anyway, look, I'm gibbering on here. So let's get this one open. So yeah, I've been quite looking forward to this one turning up. They do a couple of versions for this. This is the standard version. They also do what's called a creator pack that has a wireless microphone, tripods, and some other bits and pieces that kind of come as part of it, but it's quite a step up in price, and I actually already record my audio externally, so I didn't really need that separate mic. And actually, one of the big upgrades on the Pocket 2 versus the Pocket 1 is the built-in microphones that are actually in the unit here. It comes with a nice hard case, which is the actual camera itself is all tucked away in, and then inside here I believe we're going to have a cable and some other little bits and pieces. Let's have a look. So yeah, we've got loads of different connectors and more connectors, and is it a braided cable? Let's have a look. We've got a charging cable. It's Type C, which is good to see. Oh no, we haven't. We've got a wrist strap, which is braided as well. Okay, and on the actual camera itself, I will do a more in-depth video, but on there you also have the ability to plug in these different adapters, which allows you to sideload into your phone if you wish to, as well as a joystick control. for controlling the gimbal that's on top that the camera's housed in. That's a real basic kind of unboxing. I will just get these little accessories done as well so you can see what you're getting in here. This one, I believe, is going to be the tripod mount. Yes, it is. So this clips onto the bottom of the device and it has a standard tripod mount, and you can also still charge through it as well. In here we have got, I think that's the joystick control I just mentioned. Probably a little bit difficult to see on camera there, but it's a small little analog multi-buttoned joystick and a capture button, and just some pads on the back that connect into the camera. In this one, I believe this is going to be the either micro B or USB-C connector to go into a phone, which it is. So it's a USB-C, and again with the same pads on the back as well. And then in this one, I think we're probably going to have the lightning connector to go into an iPhone. Yes, it is. And again, little thing there, it clips onto the side here, and you can get a mount for it to go into the side of your iPhone. Now, the good thing, or one of the reasons, should I say, that I went towards this particular camera versus some of the other creator cameras, shall we say. One is price. It's much more price reasonable than some of the things that you see out there. I think the flexibility, having the built-in gimbal, is quite impressive. That's quite cool. And then in addition to that is, I've already had experience with some of the DJI products, and I actually find them really good. So it kind of seemed to be the natural route for me to go. So this is it for now. I will do a full video on this in the future, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell to make sure you get notifications of future videos. But that's the Pocket 2 all unboxed. Let's pop that into there, and we'll move on to one of these other items as part of this big unboxing. I'm not going to unbox the micro SD card. I think you pretty much know what they are. Solid state drive here. It's a budget drive, great for your budget builds to stick your OS on. Let's get this one undone. You don't really get a lot with a drive. If you've bought a hard drive already yet for your setup, you'll tend to find that most drives, 2.5-inch, 3.5-inch drives, that's literally what you get. You get the drive. That's it. Nothing else. You don't get the SATA cable or anything like that. You don't get any screws. That is literally what you get. It's the drive. These ones from Crucial, the BX500, I've used them before. They're quick enough. They're great for just loading an OS onto it. You can expect to pay about £20 for a 128 gig one, which is fine for your OS to go onto, and then have a separate hard drive or SSD or whatever it might be then for your storage device, for your games, so on and so forth. So that's that for the build. The motherboard here from ASRock, it's a budget board. It is a smaller form factor rather than full ATX. So it is a micro ATX. Despite the fact it is an older generation, it is a brand new board. So in here, you've got the SATA cables. So that is a good point. When you're building a computer, the cables and that tend to come in the motherboard, not the hard drive, like I said. Driver disk, I/O shield, and then hidden away in there is the board itself. Let's pop that out. There you go. So due to its form factor and the fact it's micro ATX, you've got your 16X PCIe slot here, a 4X one there, 24-pin connector this side, 4 SATA connectors, a 8-pin CPU power, which is actually quite unusual on board of this size. They tend to be 4-pin. The limitations, obviously you haven't got loads of PCIe slots, you've only got those. And in addition to that is a weird one, you don't get a lot of fan headers. So you've literally got CPU header, and then you've got system fan. So you'd have to use a fan adapter for this. USB 3.0 out on here, USB 2, you don't have USB-C on this, and limited I/O on the back, but it's a great budget build board, and should be absolutely perfect for what I'm using it for. So let's pop that there, and then we'll get on to this, which I say I've really been looking forward to. So for some of you, this is going to be a bit boring. It's just an AIO. For those of you who've specifically searched out this and found this video, because it's in the tags for this one, I owe it to you to make sure we actually do a decent unboxing. So, okay. As ever, with a premium product like this, it's all about presentation. I don't know how well you're going to see that on the angle on the shot, but as we do this, the back of the box lifts up, so you're presented there with the Republic of Gamers symbol, and welcome to the elite Republic of Gamers community up on top. So nobody can ever argue that ASUS don't ever do this right. This is actually foam-backed cardboard as well. And then inside we've got the rad, which obviously is connected to the block. So we'll pull that out in a second. We also have these very weighty fans here from ASUS, but I won't actually be using these. I've already got a large selection of Corsair, Light Loop and Maglev fans that are RGB, and they fit in with the RGB controller that I've got and all those sort of bits and pieces. So these will just go along with my massive selection of other basic fans from Corsair, from Be Quiet, from NZXT, from, yeah, you never know when you need them in the future. So let's pop those down. All the different mounting mechanisms. This works, I think, with obviously Intel, AM4 for AMD, and I think it also works with Threadripper. So it's got all the different ones here, and it's using the normal patented mount that everybody else uses. So that's all in there. And then there is the rad and block. So the block itself has got RGB in it as well. They do actually do a version of this that has a screen in this one as well. But to be honest with you, from a cost perspective, it's a huge step up just to have that screen, whereas this is a bit more function over form. But yeah, there we go. So then you've got the rad in there as well. So all fairly simple stuff. But should be a great addition to my system. You might have seen recently I changed my case for a Fractal Design Meshify S2 up from an NZXT H510, which purely is for airflow. So because it's part of the Meshify range, I think in 2020 we've really seen that shift away from that typical tempered glass side panel designs into more about airflow, and this is where this kind of fits in quite well. The other good thing with this and my build is I'm using a ASUS Strix X570 gaming motherboard, so I'm already using AuraSync, and this obviously is compatible with that, so it works with my current color theme and software, and obviously I can change that in the future if I wish to. But there we go. That is my little New Year's unboxing, some bits and pieces that I've ordered over the festive periods. If you've got any questions about any of these things, make sure you stick them in the comment section below. As ever, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you've got. I will do some more in-depth videos on these bits and pieces. It's always good to have new stuff come in here at kind of headquarters of the Random Geeky Guy, because it gives more video content, which is cool. But like I said, any questions, stick them in the comment section below. A massive Happy New Year from me. Do remember to hit subscribe, hit that bell button to see my future videos. And if you want to support the channel here, head on over to that randomgeekyguy.com, pick up one of these Founder Edition t-shirts. It massively supports the channel. This sort of thing gets to happen, which is great. And yeah, thanks very much, guys. I will see you next time.